Hello everybody, my name is Arti and I'm here with a new video on PTE Core task email writing. As we know that this is a new task in PTE Core, so most of us are confused about it. Today, with this video of mine, I'll try to answer all the queries that PTE Core aspirants have. So let's get started. First of all, let's see what we are going to do in today's video. So I'm going to answer 3 questions. The first one is what this email writing task is all about, how this task is assessed, and most importantly, how to draft an effective email. For this third question specifically, I'll be talking about 2 ways to write an email, one with a template and one without it. So what's the wait? Let's get started. So I'll be going on the first question, what this email task is all about. So as you can see on your screen that email writing is a task of writing module in PTE Core and it contributes only to the writing skill. You can get 2 to 3 emails in the exam. The writing time for each email is 9 minutes. The word length should strictly be 50 to 120 words. And most importantly, you are provided cut copy paste buttons which you can use while you are constructing the response. This will be very helpful and I will be talking about it later in the video. And most importantly, you will also get the word count at the bottom of the screen which will keep you mindful of how much to write. Now every email question will have 2 parts. The first part is called the prompt and the second part is called the themes. And you have to answer both the things, the prompt and the themes effectively to get a good score. So let us see an email and see what the question looks like. So you can see on the screen, the question says, read the description of the situation, then write an email about the situation. You will have 9 minutes. You should aim to write at least 100 words. Write using complete sentences. Now, you can see the first part of the question. I will read it for you. And this part is called the prompt of the question. So let's read it. The local council of your city has decided to ban the entry of vehicles in the city from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on weekends. Write an email to the local council head, Mr. Thomas, to appreciate this idea. Also talk about the benefits of this decision. So you can see on the screen that this para is called the prompt. Now let's see what the 3 themes are. The screen says your idea must come from 3 themes and they are pollution, traffic jams and fossil fuels. So this is a format of what kind of question you can get. You have 2 parts, the prompt and the themes. So this is all about question number 1, what email task is all about. Now I will shift to the assessment criteria. The email task is assessed on 7 criteria and they are content, form, email conventions, organization, grammar, vocabulary and spellings. And content is the most important criteria as it has 3 marks while all other criteria are marked for 2 marks. So let's see what these criteria are one by one. The content, which I say is the most important. What do you do? What do you see in the content? Content talks about the prompt and the 3 themes. If you talk about the prompt and you talk about the 3 themes, you are bound to get a good score. Don't worry about that. Now, what to avoid? The PTE Score Guide says you should avoid pre-prepared and memorized materials and make sure if you pick up the keywords from the prompt, they are going to add to the content and the score is going to soar. Now let's go to the next criteria, that is form. Now what is form? Form denotes the word length of the email. As we know that we have to write 50 to 120 words. If you write less than that or if you write more than that, trust me, you will be penalized. So make sure you write between 50 to 120 words and usually the email that you get in the exam, it says write approximately 100 words. So don't get confused. You can write anywhere between 50 to 120 words. That will be a good thing. Let's talk about the third and the most important concept, the email convention. Now this is something people are really upset about because they don't know what it is. So let's make it easy and let's see what it is. So email conventions include salutations. What are salutations? Salutations are the formal greetings that we use to address the reader or the recipient of the letter. Going back to the memory lane, we can still recall the time when we were in schools and we wrote letters and we wrote respected principal madam, respected editor, the respected Mr. So-and-so. So this is what you call a salutation is. Another thing that you have to see in email conventions is purpose of the letter. Purpose of the letter means why you are writing the letter. Make sure you make the purpose of the letter clear in the very first paragraph so that you can get a good score. Then you have the body paragraphs. As we know, we have 3 themes. The 3 themes will make 3 paragraphs. And then you have the closing paragraph. As we used to write in the past, eagerly waiting for your reply. I hope you will take speedy action in this regard. I trust you will pay heed to my suggestions. So these are just one-liners which will be included in the concluding or the closing paragraph. And finally, you have the closing signature. And for formal letters, you use yours sincerely, yours truly, or yours faithfully. And for informal letters, you can say regards, best wishes, or kind regards. You can use any one of them. Now the next criteria is organization. Now whenever we do something, we organize the things and then we do that thing. Similarly, in email writing, organization is very important. Now what is organization in email writing? Organization means presenting your ideas logically and coherently. And you should show clear transition from one theme to the other. Also, each theme should be accompanied with a supporting idea. After organization, I'll talk about grammar. Yes, grammar is very important in email writing. There are some tasks in PTE Core where we are not much concerned about grammar, but here we have to be very careful of the grammar. So we should make grammatically correct sentences. Don't bank upon simple sentences. You will not fetch more marks. You should make compound sentences, complex sentences. You should use active voice, passive voice, use of linkers. So they are all very important. And you should also be very careful about punctuation, the comma, the full stop, the inverted commas if you are using, or the question mark. So make sure that you use them properly because it's a computer checking you and computer will not give you any liberty. And also be important about capitalization, where to use a capital alphabet. For example, after a full stop, whenever you write a word, you write it, the first alphabet is written as a capital one. And the next criteria is vocabulary. Now, vocabulary is not to be much bothered about because you can't make vocabulary overnight. If you have good words, do use them. Try using a variety of words, that will be very beneficial for you. But please don't try hard during the exam because you'll be wasting a lot of time in this. And trust me, vocabulary is not made overnight. It takes time. So the next criteria is spellings. Spellings are very important. If you go in for wrong spellings, yes, you will be penalized. So finally, having discussed the assessment criteria, now I will be shifting to how to draft an effective email. So let's see some tips for it. As you can see on the screen, it says, read the question with its prompt and 3 themes. So the first thing you need to do is read the prompt. I must tell you, it is the prompt which will tell you who the reader of the letter is and what is the purpose of the letter. If you know these 2 things, your task will be simplified. The next step is identify the reader, I said, then make a rough draft of the purpose of the letter and also focus on the themes and just try to think of some supporting ideas for them. Lastly, pay attention to the email conventions. As we talked about them, they are salutation, purpose of letter, body paragraphs, closing paragraph, and closing signature. They are very important and you cannot ignore them. So next, let's see the next slide. And this is very important. I would strongly recommend you to make 5 paragraphs for the email. As you can see on the screen, paragraph 1 will always be the purpose of letter. Paragraph 2 will talk about theme 1. Paragraph 3 will talk about theme 2. Paragraph 4 will talk about theme 3. And finally, paragraph 5 will be the concluding or the closing paragraph. As you know, we have to write around 100 words, as the email question says. So why not just do one thing? Let's plan in our mind that we are going to write 20 words in each sentence, in each paragraph rather. So just let me know, do you think writing 20 words or just 2 sentences a difficult task? No, not at all. If you focus on this concept, trust me, email writing will become very easy for you and it will fetch you good marks. Let's go to the next slide. I am going to talk about the question once again because right now I'm going to tell you how you have to answer the question. So I am first of all going to read the prompt, and the prompt says, the local council of your city has decided to ban the entry of vehicles in the city from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on weekends. Write an email to the local council head, Mr. Thomas, to appreciate this idea. Also talk about the benefits of this decision. So now when I've read it, so there are 2 questions in my mind. Who am I writing to? And my answer comes from the prompt itself. I am writing to the local council head, Mr. Thomas. My second question is, why am I writing? What is the purpose? What am I going to talk to Mr. Thomas? So I'm going to appreciate his idea for banning the vehicles. So I've done 2 important things. I found 2 important answers from the prompt. And after that, I'll just see the themes and go ahead. So the themes are pollution, traffic jams, and fossil fuels. Remember, you are just going to write 20 words for pollution, 20 words for traffic jam, and 20 words for fossil fuels. I think that's not going to be difficult for anybody of us. Now let us go and frame the first paragraph, the purpose of the letter. After writing, Dear Mr. Thomas, I'll straight away write, I am writing to you to appreciate. And then I'll be picking up my lines directly from the prompt. And you can see here how I do it. So the first para reads, Dear Mr. Thomas, I am writing to you to appreciate your decision to ban the entry of vehicles in the city from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on weekends. Now if you see closely, I have simply picked up the entire sentence, ban the entry of vehicles in the city from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on weekends, from my prompt. You can either type this or you can use the cut, copy, paste buttons and just paste it in your response. And then I've written one more line. This decision will have multiple benefits. So with this, my salutation is complete. My first paragraph is complete. And now I'll go to the first prompt, that is pollution. So I can say the major advantage of this decision is that it will control pollution, it will reduce carbon footprints and purify the air. So with this, my paragraph is over. My keywords can be carbon footprints, the vocabulary words, purify, and they will help me in getting marks for vocabulary. Now let's go to the next prompt, and that is traffic congestion. I can say another advantage I can think of this is that it will reduce traffic congestion, hence people will save a lot of time. Now here I have used a linker hence, which can be beneficial. And the last prompt will go as, lastly, this development will also save fossil fuels which are on the verge of extinction. Then I have my concluding paragraph. I trust the city residents will surely benefit from this decision. And then your closing signatures, yours sincerely, your name, and with this your letter or the email is complete. So having talked about drafting an email without a template, now let me talk to those people who are interested in getting a template. So here is a template for all those who would like to go for a template. As you can see on the screen, you can write a salutation, dear sir, I am writing to you too, and then you can have the purpose of the letter. Basically this will come from the prompt itself, and then you can say the major cause, the major reason, the major benefit, whatever your letter is talking about is that, and then you can continue. Another cause, another demerit, another merit, another reason I can think of is, this will satisfy your second theme rather. And then you can say lastly, you must also take into consideration that this will be talking about your theme 3. And then you can have any line for the closing paragraph. I trust you will look into the matter at the earliest. I hope you will pay attention to my suggestions. Looking forward to meeting you soon, and then you can have your signature. So that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe for more videos. Thank you.